can I ask you a question about now that having written this book? This is probably an end question, but would you ever consider writing a book? Because I found that every chapter could have been a book in itself, or every few chapters could have been, has its own story. But they're growing up in the Middle East and your family. Would you ever write a book solely about your experience as a child or a youth growing up in the Middle East with your parents and specifically what they did? Would you ever
Well,
write a book just about
now
that?
that you've mentioned it, maybe I should. I hadn't really, like I was saying, I didn't really contemplate writing a book. I mean, you have to sit down and it's, kind of tedious, but writing about oneself, and, one of the things I did do is I read my brother's book, and I read all the other books that were written about the police, and Andy Summers' book and Sting's book, and a lot of other people who wrote about the various bands or IRS records or the Go-Go's, whatever. And one of the things I realized was that a lot of people made stuff up or got things wrong, So I decided that I needed to at least correct some of the mistakes, or at least, So I made a point of calling up people that I hadn't talked to in years, and just said, look, here's what I remember. What do you remember? And so I talked to all the people, and I think, I was pretty accurate. But going back to the beginning, the part of the problem was, I've been in the business 50 years, what do you put in and what do you leave out? What's going to bore people? Maybe growing up in the Middle East would have, been appealing to a certain group of people, but probably not others. I don't know. So I kind of like condensed it to a degree, which I thought would be a good cross section of, what I did and what I learned, basically.
Well, you did condense it well, just enough to reel us in, or me, I guess, because it reads like, would read like a novel.
Always looking for
a nice of you to say.
Oh, I was just about to say, you're looking for the mainstream hits. You don't want to. You're not doing a niche thing right now. You're doing the thing that seems to attract a wider net for right now before you niche it out.
Yeah, one of the things that kind of scared me about writing about stars, I was afraid that if I went to a publisher, they would say, well, we want some more dirt on Sting, and give me some dirt on whoever, and I never really, well, there really wasn't that much dirt anyway, but the fact of the matter is my point was not to do some great expose. And there were plenty of funny stories and wild things that were happening. One could get away with telling the truth, and that was plenty. You didn't have to kind of exaggerate to bring dirt into the equation to help sell the books or something.